Ghost family, it's Nomsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. So with me today, I have Shireen Groove and Claudia Pasa. How are you, ladies?
We're brilliant, thank you.
Yeah, thank you too as well. Good, thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So our topic today is how do you protect your heart in a new relationship? Protecting your heart that's not the topic, is it?
Yes, how to protect your heart in a new relationship.
Yes,
Is
yes.
it the topic you chosen, Claudia?
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah.
Okay, just double checking.
Yeah.
Protecting your heart in a new relationship involves being mindful of your emotions and setting healthy boundaries and fostering open communication. So today we're going to share some tips and help you navigate in a new relationship while safeguarding your emotional well-being. Actually protecting your heart also, you can use it in a normal relationship as well. As long, I think here we forgot to put, that's why I'm asking, without building walls, because some people may actually get into this protecting their heart, building walls, protecting themselves not to go for all in. So, Claudia, you chose this topic. Would you like to explain to our
So,
audience?
yeah. Yes, absolutely. I would like to just like to bring some both sides of the story actually. And so obviously being vulnerable is a very important part of every relationship because it gives us as well the opportunity to go deeper and into a more meaningful bond with another person. However, when embracing into a new relationship, particularly if we have been experiencing heartbreak in the past, we might struggle sometimes to open up for this new love because we fear we might get hurt. But the thing is, as well, before we completely push away a potential love match, I would like as well, just like with the audience and you too as well, so that we can ease as well their minds, that there are ways actually to find the right balance between opening up and protecting your heart. Yeah.
Do you think about the topic?
So are you talking to me, Namsa?
Yes, I am
You're
talking
cutting
to
out
you.
a couple of times. I don't know why you're cutting out. You're cutting out quite a lot. So just be aware, is it with you moving or something like that? Just to kind of notice.
Okay, am I okay now?
You're okay now, but just every now and then sometimes you move and we can't hear what you're saying.
Okay, I think I need to. Mic is there. Okay, I need to make sure my mic is facing me.
Okay,
Okay.
brilliant. Good. Yes, I think this is a wonderful topic because, once we've been hurt in any way, right? Once we've been hurt, we often, if we haven't learned how to navigate that hurt in the first place, we build up these protective walls. And protective walls are only there so that we can be safe, right? We're born with the strategies of either, we have these survival strategies, and safety is this call to comfort, the call to feel absolutely safe. And one of the things that is really helpful in understanding is that most of us can trust ourselves, right? So we always feel we're safe with ourselves. And so if we don't feel safe with someone else, we're going to keep that safety so that that part of us, that call to safety, is strong. So I think it's really useful to think about when we go into a new relationship, what do we need, right? Claudia, you mentioned something so pivotal, so important, which is vulnerability. What does vulnerability do for us? Well, vulnerability helps us create connection, right? Vulnerability also helps us show that person that we are being completely authentic. Now, when we're hiding, when we're protecting, we are not our authentic self. We can't be our authentic self. And if we're not our authentic self, other people notice, right? Because when we're not our authentic self, we do these non-verbal cues. So we kind of move in a different way, or we might kind of be a little bit vaguer, or we might not commit. We might not do things that we would ordinarily do if we felt safe. And so what happens for the other person is a feeling of unease. And that means that not only do they get this feeling of unease, now they feel unsafe, right? And two people that are unsafe are going to not be able to give each other support. But if we are vulnerable and we say this is where we are right now, vulnerability shows incredible strength. Vulnerability says, I'm here and I'm safe, even if you don't like it, right? I'm here, I'm safe, even if, we walk away and this relationship doesn't work. I'm okay. I'm okay with saying my truth. I'm okay with being my authentic self. Now, the biggest stresses in life is when we fight against our authentic self. When we can't be our authentic self, and our authentic self is always vulnerable and strong. So they're both these parallels. So we have to always recognize vulnerability as a strength and recognize that if we want to go into a new relationship, we have to build connections, and we can't build connections on a lie. We have to build it on the truth for it to be long and sustaining, and for it to navigate the challenges that any relationship is going to have. So that's the kind of thing that came up for me when I was starting to think about how do you protect a new relationship? I mean, even in a relationship, maybe if your relationship's not going well, you need to create a new relationship with this person, right? You need to go, okay, where am I not being vulnerable? Where am I not being authentic? Where am I telling a cover story, a lie, to protect myself? Because in actual fact, when we're protecting ourselves and we don't do it in a healthy way, we don't thrive. We just merely survive. So that's kind of the thing that always, whenever I'm in a relationship or when I think about people in relationships, I'm always looking, how do I keep the connection? If I want the connection, I need to be more vulnerable. I need to show my cards, right? And how do we win a war? People lay down their arms and they say, here we are, right? That's when you start. That's the starting point. When there's an armistice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nomsa, you're the lady of the love.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love what you both girls, ladies said. It's very, very important to not to fight against your true authenticity. And I think the topic should have been how to protect your heart in a new relationship without closing off.
Yes.
Heart love.
Yeah.
That would have made sense. Yes, without closing off. Because we don't want these guys to start protecting themselves and they start closing off. So for me, what worked for me personally, it was working on my authenticity. When I put myself out there, I was okay with whatever will be, because I knew that no one can have authority in my heart unless I decided to give it away. And I was okay to actually date a man without having to protect, because sometimes when we try to protect ourselves, we're closing off unknowingly. So it's very, very important, self-love, and also boundaries, and to be aware of our expectations as well, because when our expectations are not being met, I always sometimes you send someone on dates because they expect George Clooney to show up. They expect George Clooney to show up.
Well, they're looking for Judge Clooney anyway.
Yes, David Beckham, you name it. And when George Clooney does not show up, they get disappointed.
Mm.
And they will show it body language. They think it doesn't show, but a man can see it, or even a woman can see when a man is disappointed when somebody shows up. So I always say to girls and men, like when somebody shows up, like let's say myself, if I show up on a date, you expect who? Naomi Campbell. I'm not going to be Naomi Campbell. I'm just gonna be Nomsa. So when I show up, the good thing is if you have worked on yourself and you love yourself and you've worked on your expectations and you are true to your expectations and you take time in everything that analyzing things, you take time and when you put yourself out there, you will no longer care about people hurting you because you have these expectations that if I'm meeting somebody, I'm going to take my time to get to know Shireen. I'm going to ask questions. But if Shireen is not being authentic, whatever show up later, I'm going to be okay about it. Or even in the relationship, if it doesn't work out the way I expect, I'm going to go all in and I'm going to serve. You know, when you serve the queen, the queen is there to serve her king is there to serve her queen. So it's for me, it's like having that mindset, like my king, how do I serve you? Even if you're not my king yet, how do I serve you? I'm going with this attitude where I'm playful, I'm all in. If somebody likes me, I'm no longer worried about who rejected me then. I'm just excited for the future. I don't want to get married. I can't think about, wow, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to get married if you propose to me now. I cannot think of that. Step by step. Take each day as it comes. But I'm going to get excited. I did that in my subconscious mind. I made a decision that, okay, I'm going to meet these guys, start dating. And whoever I meet, I'm just going to get to know them. I'm just going to accept them for who they are. And I'm just going to go all in. I'm not going to get worried about who hurt me back then. I'm just going to treat this relationship as a special one. And when I did that, after 6 months, my spouse looked at me in the eye and he said, Nomsa. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you are not faking anything. You're not faking it. You are just real. And I was subconsciously, it was a decision that I had made, that I am tired of living in a lie. Mm. And like Shireen, you said about cover story. Mm. I said to myself, I am no longer gonna go out and have this cover story that I have and try to fit in with any man or try to think about my ex, what he did. I'm just going to say, and I said to God, hold my hand, let's go. And ask questions. If I ask questions and this person, they tell me the body language and I connect with what they say. And the one more secret, what people need to know, is the universe. When you speak to the universe is God. God is the universe. When you tell the universe and God what you desire in life, I just wanted to be authentic. And I said, God, I surrender. My relationship stories has been messed up. But when I put myself out there, raise a voice for me. The universe read now. And I find when I go out, I tell a story about myself. People, they're no longer wanting me to fit in. They tell me their story gratefully. If there's a connection actually connecting with my spouse. It was just another love story. But from that, I learned that being authentic, I always tell my clients that be authentic. If you don't like the guy, please don't tell me that I feel fear. I can't tell him that I don't like him, no matter how much good time I had. If you don't like a woman, I always say, you go out with somebody, you feel there is no connection, go back on a second date, there is no connection, or if you connect with somebody that moment. Because the guy, I don't know about you, Shireen, when you started your relationship with your guy and Claudia, when you're faking it, people can tell you don't connect with that person. But when you're being true, you actually connect with them. Okay, let's hear your love story. Is that Claudia? Is that you coming fast?
No, it's fine. I mean, authenticity opposite, yeah. So we've spoken about this, very important as well, because people can feel it. It's not you. And then as well, it is just exhausting. I mean, to fake that you are someone else. And the thing is as well, it comes out down the line anyway. So it's just a waste of time for the both of you, and the other party as well might be upset anyway then, because you have been just not honest to them. So just like, please, yeah, be authentic. And as well, another aspect important as well here is to love yourself, like really, yeah, it's always important, because as well in this case, when we struggle to love us, then we are most likely as well sticking around with those who don't match with us as well. So just like me looking in the past, in the 20s and so on, when you don't have the awareness for certain things, how life goes. So yeah, it's just like I did that in the past. And something else as well, are you someone who is afraid of being alone? This needs to be as well like acknowledged and something done around it too, because then you don't want to settle as well for less, or for something you don't deserve, just because you are afraid of being alone. So these are like very important factors as well, to love yourself, and as well just like don't settle just because you don't want to be alone. That's not the right aspect as well for the relationship. And as well, the red flags. How often do we ignore the red flags? And actually looking back at the situation, at the relationship, at the dating experience we had with that particular person, and there were red flags, yeah. But we just ignored them, and just as well to understand, okay, just like be perceptive as well, and just aware what is going on, like the red flags, or as well the intuition. It can come as well as a feeling, as an intuition as well for you, as feedback, if there's actually as well as a good relationship for you too. And one of you lovely ladies did say as well, it's important as well to express our needs, something as well, which maybe we can still do a bit better, but obviously the other party is not like a psychic or oracle. They don't know what we need in this very moment. So we have to as well like to learn to say how we feel this very moment, and what it is as well we need, because then they can come and fulfill this desire and the need as well. So these are like some things which are very important as well for us to understand, to bring some ease into it, so that we can actually start and to open up again, because it feels good for us to do it more natural. Something else as well, I just remembered, it's always important as well to find someone with who shares your values as well. In the past, I didn't understand it. I found I just go for the opposite and so on. Opposite attracts and so on. Yes, might be interesting for some part, like the beginning part, but then if you don't have the values similar, or as well actually matching a few of them, doesn't have to be all of them, but like the main ones, then it's going to be a bit difficult as well to keep the relationship, because it's just the values are not equal or balanced and so on. It's just like and then it's going to be rather hard work, which It doesn't have to be in a relationship. It should be playfully and in flow and so on. It should not be too much or too long hard work. Yeah, these were a few things I could come up with. Something to add, Shireen?
Well, I agree with all that you said there. I was just I'm kind of going, oh, I'll tick off that off my list, and I'll tick that off my list. So that was lovely. Thank you. Yeah, maybe just to add to that as well. I mean, one of the things that was really important, and I love that you said that last bit about the value system, because when I first met my partner, before I met him, I did do a spell. I must admit, I did go and do a spell, magic spell. But what I really did was I also I was studying Tad James and timeline stuff at the time. And what came up for me was he said, you know, you have to decide who you want, who and what is going to make you actually really happy. And really what he was saying is what's going to make you happy. And there is this strange thing that we are always looking for our opposite, because that is the opposite of who we are, right? And that's the bit that's lacking. That opposite that we're looking is what we're lacking in us. And so we think that's love, but it's not love. So the idea of looking for someone that is able to support you, how do we know we're safe? Is when people have the same values as us, right? When there's a shared sense of an experience, so a shared sense of, okay, you know, when we go to a meeting, I want to be able to trust that you're not going to misbehave, right? I want to trust that you can still be authentic and say your thing, but you're not going to truly embarrass me that I walk out of there and think, oh my God, why do I want to be with this person, right? So you want to have people that you respect, people that would respect you, would consider you. So you need to write a list of the things that truly matter for you. And you will have had those red flags from many other relationships. Think about your previous relationships and think about those red flags, which is what you said, and look at it. What was it that really was the problem? Did they ignore me, right? Did they, you know, did they not arrive when they said they were going to arrive? Did they always make excuses? These are the things, you know, did they not change when I showed disapproval or whatever? One of those things are that they make us feel unsafe if someone says, oh, I'll call, and then they don't call, and then they do it again, and they do it again, knowingly, knowing that, you know, you're going to say yes and let it go. No, those things are what are the red flags. And we have to address the red flag and know, okay, that's the red flag. So a new relationship, this person does that. I will warn them once, I might warn them twice, but the third time, this is non-negotiable. So be very aware of the kinds of behaviors, the kinds of things for you that are non-negotiable. The things that you really, some things you can get away with and not worry, because most of us, you know, when we're in a happy mood, wouldn't faze us. But really be aware of the things that really get your goat, because those are the things that are going to annoy you later on. Someone said something about the toothpaste, and, you know, the toothpaste at the end of the toothpaste or the beginning of the toothpaste, or that pull out in the middle. Well, my partner and I decided I was going to fix the problem. I have my toothpaste, he has his, right? Toothpaste is too little to fight about. But the thing is, once I realized it wasn't an important issue, it was I could do something about it, then that meant, okay, there are going to be things that we are different, right? So some things will not figure for them, but the main things would be the ones that you know absolutely are going to get, that are going to be the ones that you're going to worry about. Will they consider you? Those are really important. If you want children, do they want children, right? How would they bring up a child? Would they discipline? You know, you need to be able to ask all those questions. If something happens and I lose money, how might you support me? Right? These are even interesting questions. You know, they're important, because if you don't get a sense, as someone will say, well, you know, we'd have to think about that, but let's have a look at how you might do that first. How could I support you, rather than how can I give that to you? What will be that you will go, okay, this means I've got to find a way, but I can have this person guide me. So there's a whole new way of negotiating that can be very, very beneficial and useful, but it does require some level of self-development, right? We need to go into that with that person whole, pretty much whole as we can be in a relationship. Because if we're looking for someone else to fix or someone else to fill a gap, we've got a problem. Now, that doesn't mean to say that, you know, I have a friend that's totally self-sufficient and really a relationship. My partner said, well, I don't know what I would be able to give to that person in that relationship. And that's also interesting because we've got women now that are very self-assertive, very, very much in a world where they can do everything. But we also realize and need to realize that actually, if we have a partner or want a partner, we need to be able to be in that space where we can truly be the queen to the king and the king to the queen, right? I think you used that, Nomsa. We really need to be able to stand in our power, stand in our way of being, and also be able to serve. And that's hard. That takes challenge, and it takes a lot of self-development to be able to truly do that well. I think we all do it at some level, but to consciously do it is really important. There was something else that I love that you said express the needs, but I suppose what I always come up with most of my clients, I say, if it hurts you, it's not love. Love is, you know, my definition of love is expansion, not contraction.
Yeah.
You can still move into the hurt and you can expand. So you can recognize that maybe the hurt was just an old pattern that you were carrying. Okay, what do I want from this person? How do I work with this person? How do I expand with this person? So we're going into relationships so that both of you can expand. That's your thing. You've got to be thinking, how do we expand in this relationship? How do we grow? How do we work together to create something different? Is my thinking about love anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that, Shireen. When you say think about the things that are non-negotiable in your life when you start dating somebody, and also Claudia, you mentioned that you don't settle for less. If you know what you really want in life, you go for that. And if you date somebody and you find that that's not what you want, don't go for it. And also, don't judge. And I've had so many people that would tell me their celebrity crush. My celebrity crush is this person. I'm like, okay. And when it comes to matchmaking and they expect me to find a similar that person in the universe, it does not work like that, honestly. Because what works with God is your destiny and the person that aligns with that. So I might say, okay, I need David Beckham, but maybe George Clooney is my husband, or somebody else who looks completely different from all these people. For me, what I know is if you're really looking for love and you know exactly what you want, I always say to my clients, take out the looks. Hold on to the looks of what the person should have blonde hair, should have brown hair, should have blue eyes. I always tell them, to me, that is a fetish. When you attracted to blonde hair, where does it say your husband is going to come as a blonde or a gray hair? To me, is a fetish. The reality is when you have gone through challenges in life and you have worked so hard for your wealth, for whatever you've worked for, your skills and everything you've developed yourself, God is not going to match you because you're looking for David Beckham. He's going to match you because Bill Gates might be your husband. He's going to match you based on what you've put into the universe. He's going to match you based on what you deserve as a person. If you deserve to be happy, and he's going to match you based on that. So that's why you have to be alert when you go out. I have never ever imagined myself dating my spouse, somebody like my spouse. Honestly,
Me neither.
I'll never. I started putting my pictures, my family, showing my pictures, my family, and then they'll be like, "Here's a hit and run." That one would tell me it was like they were communicating with each other, hit and run, hit that one, hit that one. So I was like, why do they always think that these my spouse is a hit and run? I'm trying to say somebody to say no, sir, congratulations. What I'll get, I'll be like, they'll be like hit and run, hit and run. And even his sister, she sat down next to me and I was like, you okay? She goes, how did you get him to commit? He doesn't commit to no one. And I said to her, no, he does. And she said, no, he doesn't. And I said, no, sometimes when you've not met the right person, it's hard to commit if you've not met the right person. I was like, I didn't do anything exciting. I was just authentic. I was just being me. There is nothing I can say. I did this, I did that, I did that. I was just me. I gave up the lies that I was telling myself that I'm not enough. I'm not this, I'm not this. I gave all that up. And now I was walking in a pathway, and my heart is like, I'm the queen. Take me as I am. If you feel I'm not enough, I'll be enough for somebody else. And I find that the more I became authentic, the more I connected with my spouse without trying really, really hard. And that is important. And also red flags. I ask questions. I remember asking questions. The poor guy, he was very uncomfortable. He was like, I was like, do you want a beer? He was very uncomfortable. But I wasn't interviewing him, making him uncomfortable. I was so playful in a way that I was like, this is a place where you can be who you want to be. But I have questions that I need to ask. So I ask him questions. He will answer. Oh, how do you feel dating somebody who's got a child? You haven't got a child. He was like, what's wrong with that? And I'll ask those questions. Or how do you think your family are going to feel? Because I don't want to say, I like you, and then people start judging me. I don't have time for that. And I was like, no, my family are okay. And I ask questions now with the values. I ask questions. And but the mindset that I had, it was the mindset of serving. Like I will ask questions about myself, and I will ask questions about him because I needed to know things about him in a playful way, but not giving an interview. I'll ask him questions. How do you want me to serve? If you have that mind, when you meet a man, how do you want me to serve? And that person will start communicating how they want, what kind of a woman they need in their lives, and the things that they don't want. They know exactly what they want, and you communicate with them. And he was dressed up nicely, but the shoes, I even did not realize the shoes. The guy, one day when I find the picture, I'll put the shoes he was wearing. You know those granddad shoes from Clarks? Yeah, he was wearing those granddad shoes from Clarks, but there was a story behind the shoes. I didn't even see the shoes because for me, the looks, the dressing, it didn't matter at that time. I just needed to know what am I getting inside? What's on the inside of this guy? And also, Claudia, you said don't settle for less, express your needs. And I was like actually expressing my needs and giving him an opportunity to express his needs and also listening. We communicate with people, we have to listen. And also the other thing what you need to analyze as a woman is if I was to communicate with this guy, or maybe going through challenges, is this person going to be there for me? Or are they going to accept me for me? Or do I need to change my character? There are some men who date women, they want to change them. There are some women who date men hoping they will change them to be what they want. So those are the things that you need to look at them, share values, and ask them what they really want. Shirini, you mentioned that. And also the boundaries when you are in a relationship, learn to say no. For me, what worked for me was like, okay, I gave this guy the number. I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks. I've forgotten about him. And because I was no longer hungry, like to say, I need love, but I was hungry with the universe. My heart was open to the universe. The universe was reading my desires. And I was no longer like, if somebody doesn't call me, get upset or anything. I just put my feet up and put popcorn, watch the movie. And that's the attitude that I had. I was so tired of playing games with guys, pretending to be something that I'm not. And if I'm on my pajamas, if the guy says, I come and see you, where are you? And I'll be like, I'm at home, come and join me. Or sometimes I'm not even on my pajamas, I will just sit there on the sofa. When he comes in, I look after him. He ended up moving earlier than he was supposed. We were hanging out together every day because his dad lived down the road, and he lived down the road. He worked away Monday to Friday. When he comes in, instead of spending time with his dad, he will be spending time with us. And his dad was like, I miss my son, Nomsa. Where's my son? And before you know it, he was staying with us. But it didn't matter because I already knew what I wanted, and I wasn't protecting my heart anymore. God was protecting my heart now. I was no longer worried about what would be tomorrow, what tomorrow will be, the hat. I was no longer worried because I said to God, you know what? My life has been messed up. The way I choose relationship, it doesn't work. I said it out loud in my living room. I was like, it doesn't work. Just let's go and search for the guy that is just going to be really accept me for me. Shireen and Claudia, I don't like drama. Drama will put me in sanity. Honestly, I don't know. I don't like drama. I don't like guys who brings drama. And I just like a simple life. And when things are not working, I rather somebody, and I don't like people who pretend to be something they are not. Rather, if you are unhappy, communicate with me, like let me know that Nomsa, my needs are not fulfilled. And I regret having that attitude because Martin goes, Nomsa, my needs are not fulfilled, honey. I'm like, how? And they will be like, this. I'm like, okay, I'll make sure that they are fulfilled. So all those things. And when you are dating somebody, treat them like your best friend. Because if you've been hurt before and you bring that healing, let's just say healing, do the healing process first. And when you enter a relationship, just don't worry about getting hurt, because if you've been healed, you're not going to get hurt. Like I always see women when they come to me, and men, when they talk about they're looking for love, it's always like material first. Like, Nomsa, you know, I'm educated. I'm looking for somebody who's educated. Okay, that's fine. That is a common sense. I will not match you with somebody who's not educated. And then now is the looks. It's like going to Tesco's, shopping. It's like, give me a girl, I like blue eyes. And I'm like, that's not how it works. I like ladies with brown or blonde hair. They have to be skinny. And mostly these guys are describing their exes. So I'm like, show me the picture of your ex. Yeah. Normally it's guys. When they're describing you, they want their current relationship to be exactly like their exes. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna start again. Once I see the picture of the ex, I'm like, okay, gonna start again. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to match you based on your height, based on your education, based on your lifestyle, somebody who understands your lifestyle that is going to complement you. And most of all, I am not going to match you. God is going to direct you to the right person. All I have to do is to ask God to connect you with a woman that is not going to take you for everything, that is not going to later on hurt you or do anything. I just need that woman that is perfect inside out. And that's what in my heart, when they describe me, that I'm like, okay, they tell me what they want. And then you find when I do find somebody that complement that, and when you match with them, they're like, okay, I'm happy. And I'm like, what happened to the blonde? I thought we were searching for the blonde. Like, forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Forget about the blonde. What about you, Claudia?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention as well the toothpaste thing. It did come up as well in our relationship, Shireen, you know. My partner asked me to please close the toothpaste each time, you know, just like, so yeah, it's just like funny, small things. But again, it's not a deal breaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine.
What is this business with toothpaste?
Well, it's
Yeah, I
the
don't
little
know.
things. No, it's all to do with the little things. The little,
Okay.
the little things that make you unhappy, that then things, because there's a deeper thing that's running, a deeper pattern. Like there's, you know, like a pattern of someone not necessarily considering you, for example. Right? You look for those. You don't want to go head on and talk to the person. So what you're doing is you start picking on the little things, and then the little things become the big thing, and then you have the explosion, right? So it's really, the toothpaste is just a classic example, because how many people, I mean, it's just the classic example of how many people will, you know, how do you do your toothpaste? Because it's a curious question. And how do people get irritated or not? Well, you obviously know I get irritated because I've got my own toothpaste.
Well, I didn't actually, but yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah. But you're right, the issue is never the issue. So good point. Next time I'd be a bit more, yeah. Good point.
He is the chair. You know, when you're sitting at the table, you always have to put the chair back. I always forget that. And my children are like, Mommy, you forgot to put the chair back. And she'll put it, or her dad will be like, oh, well, I have to put the chair back. But guess what? And these guys, when they change, I don't complain. Socks on the floor. When they get changed, when I'm making, like if I go to the rooms and checking, you find the things on the floor, I just pick it up and put it back there. But if I leave my chair not being pushed back, and they will make sure that I know about it.
Yeah.
I know.
It's
a very interesting thing, selective memory.
Hi, Carol.
But let yourself be aware that that's, you know, there are things that, the important things are the things that matter, right? And be aware that if those things are happening, you just need to very gently say, oh, my darling, that'd be so nice if you put those in the sock box, because it means I don't have to go over and fetch them, right? I don't have to be the slave. And so you can be playful about it, and you can do things that are very different. Sometimes it's quite hard not to, but to be really honest, it's just about being creative and reminding them of those commitments, right?
Yeah. And the thing is as well, like with the relationships, past relationships, it is as well important to learn to leave them in the past and not to bring them and all the pain and the hurt and everything into this new relationship. It's just no one wants it, you know. So it's just like, please as well be aware that otherwise it's a bit like it is important as well for yourself, because all what you're doing is that you are taking this ball of chain into the next relationship, and as well the new partner is just not really interested as well, even though as well active listening and asking question, it did already come up from, I think, both of you. Yes, this is an important thing to get to know them and to see actually as well who they really are, what they like and what are their dislikes and so on, just for us as well to get a feeling. Is this actually a potential good match for me? So like, yeah, listening to what they say and asking them as well questions. Just like be curious as well and get them to know. Get them to know. And one realization as well I had, because for me, I didn't realize as well, I had my heart closed up in the past, and because of that, I was attracting men with the same thing. So just like, please, I like to remind you, it's life is a bit like a mirror. So the reflection outside, as well as the dates you're going to attract, are going to mirror actually as well what you have inside of you. So this didn't work for me until I realized as well, oops, I don't have commitment. I don't have commitment in here. I'm still hurt. I'm still closed up from the past and so on. So I just kept attracting the same guy. So once we understand as well how it works, that it starts basically as well with inside of us, so that we can find the right tools, the right coaches, the right therapists as well for us to work and to process the past and the learnings, the hurts, the pain, and everything, so that we can actually move on from it and know as well that we are worthy of a new relationship, of a healthy and respectful and loving and kind and fun, like worthiness as well. Just like, I'm not sure if you have been not treated worthy in the past, but like, again, just like work through these issues as well, because in the end as well, this is just like a program or something, maybe as well your previous partner put onto you that you don't deserve it and you are not worthy and so on. Just like, please don't take the story or the programs as well from them. It is just like what they have been putting onto you or reflecting onto you as well out of their insecurity. And we might have taken it on board, but again, it's just not serving us. Okay, just always important, no matter what it is in life, to work on our worthiness, because this will be reflected in all areas of our life as well. Something else, Shireen? I like how to work through the past and to let it go, and so that we are free and clear and good to go.
Yeah, I think one of the key things is to be present, isn't it? It's to always be present in the moment and responding from the moment rather than another moment. So it's useful if you're feeling something going on for you, is really to go, is this what's going on? What's going on for me? I'm experiencing something. And often just ask yourself, what's this about? Where's this come from? And very quickly, if you learn to do some inner work, when I say inner work, is really about really learning about you. You will get images and memories. And when you get those, you can go, this is something about the past. This is just a red flag to tell me that this is likely to happen this way. If I do this, it may take a different course, right? So I can choose in the moment. I'm not going to choose for my past moments. I can choose now and create something new. So we don't want to be reacting. We want to be creating, right? So that's the key thing that I can talk about. And and it's really interesting, because when I met my partner, I was deeply in love with someone else, or had fallen in love with someone else. And then he kind of didn't really pay too much attention. But I found myself, because I had done those 10 things, 10 values I needed, I was being attracted. Was not the person I would have been attracted to, but I was all of a sudden being attracted. Once we started going out with a relationship, after about 6 months, I was starting to feel my pattern was to not be in commitments, right? To get out of the commitments. So I started at my 6 months, I started to feel very edgy, very, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. This is going to go somewhere. And I realized that this was my pattern. Rolling stone gathers no moss. Did I want to have a rolling stone? Did I want to always be lonely? Did I want those choices? And I thought, okay. And my partner was very kind. And this is where I know that these are keepers, because he said to me, you know what? Go back to your friend, if that's where you want to stay, and sort out how you feel, and then come back when you're really ready, right? And I looked at him and I said, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay right here, because that's my pattern, to go away. So my pattern is I'm changing. I'm changing now. I'm staying here right now, and I'll work through this here with you. And I remember saying the one thing which a lot of people find very strange. I said, I'm putting my heart in my hand here, like this. I'm giving it to you. I'm trusting you that you will take care of it. And he kind of looked at me, and his face was like, really, oh my God, what's going on? I could feel like, oh my goodness. And he just said, okay, I'll take it. So sometimes you have to be in that moment very honest about what is making you frightened. What is it that's your pattern? And just say, no, I'm choosing. I'm choosing now. For me, I'm choosing you. I'm choosing this. There's a condition to choosing, is that you will look after me while I make that choice, that you will promise to be careful with my heart. And that was something, and we're still together years and years later, right, nearly 30 years. I think that is what you have to do. And I was terrified. I was terrified that I'd have a relationship like my parents, which I didn't want, and all of those things. So I think part of that is really knowing what you want, knowing that you're going to have to take those moments for the stance, because it's going to come, but being present to understanding that the fear is something based in your past, that you are now projecting for the future. Your fear is not real necessarily. It may not be realized. Most fears aren't. But what you can do is create the future you want. And I think if it's a new relationship, you want to be able to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. But remember, I said earlier on, that person that's coming into your life, he needs or she needs to have a purpose that's going to help your happiness, right? So you need to give them that job. You need to give them the job to be your king, to be your queen. You must give them that facility to know that they are doing something for you, that they're not just, just there. They are actively part of your happiness. I think that's a really key thing in any relationship. And all relationships are work. They're fun, but they are work.
Yeah, a relationship requires hard work.
Yeah.
You have to work. You have to work, because when you are in that relationship and also you have to, like Shireen is saying, and Claudia, the healing process is very, very important. Because there are some people, like when they're in a relationship, when they're upset, when somebody offends them, they don't express it. They go into a silence mode. They don't want to talk.
Stonewalling. It's called stonewalling, yeah.
Yeah, they go into this silence attitude, like, I'm not going to talk to you. But once you go through the healing, all that goes away. I used to do that. I'm not going to talk to you. And then after I done that, and then I done the healing, I was like, what the heck was that all about? This attitude. Then I started looking at my attitude, and then realizing that actually I was like not expressing or communicating my needs. And I expect the other person to know exactly what I want. I'm like, he should know better. No, he shouldn't, because he doesn't know what I want. So unless I express my feelings, then he will know what I want, how I want to be served as the queen. So it's very, very important for those who are single, who are looking to enter a relationship. Guys, the physical realm, whatever we bound in the physical realm is bound in the spirit realm. Life is everything. And we may do things here now, and we're thinking, wow, I'm just not gonna care about myself. I'm not gonna express what I want. And you see a nice guy, they're driving a nice car, and then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna forget everything that I want from a man. This one is well established. I'm just gonna date him because he's got money. Then you enter a relationship miserable, not happy. I rather date a guy that makes me happy, that listen. Obviously, I will not date a lazy guy. I rather date a guy that is worthless. It means he has $1 million mindset, billionaire mindset. I rather date that guy that knows how to treat a woman. And also what I've noticed, like I always say to the ladies when they join the agency, I say, when you go on a date, Nomsa already know that you're educated. Nomsa already know that you have money, you're independent, you can look after yourself. And I always say to the girls, when you go on a date, if a guy offers to pay for a meal, please do not argue with the man, because although we live in this world where men and women are equal, but out there, there's still men who are well cultured, who wants to feel like a man, who wants to go out, they wants to treat a lady like a lady. So I always say, please do not argue. It's just for one day. One day, maybe even less than 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. So you can actually, you cannot argue with that. And the girls will be like, but Nomsa, I'm used to be independent. I'm like, it's one day. Just one day. A man is the king, you are the queen. Can you imagine one day you tell a story and they say, wow, he looks at you and he's like, you are what I've been looking for. And can you imagine the joy from a man? But if you start to argue, that very same day is going to be like, she's going to argue with me with all this pain. It's annoying, this paying bill. It's like when I go out myself, whoever takes the card out pays, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. When I'm living with a guy, it's not about me being educated or me being independent. It's a partnership that comes with joy, that comes with so much excitement. Because what happens is all this money, we die and we leave it behind. For me, at that moment, I always say to them, but it takes time to negotiate, Shireen. And this is a big problem in the dating industry, that women are like, I am in charge. We are 50-50. But there's still men who are struggling with that. It's like, for me, I am the CEO at Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency. But when I'm at home, I am Nomsa. I do not want to be in charge for anything. I just look after the kids and I make sure my spouse is happy. All this management and stuff, it stays at work. When I'm at home, I just want to be at home. I don't want to say, wow, I'm educated, I've got this, I've got that. And when you make a man feel like that, or even a man, when you make a woman feel like that, it doesn't feel like a relationship anymore. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is, when you date somebody, try to enjoy the ride. The ride is so beautiful. My spouse says sometimes when we go away, he's happy if we say we want to go somewhere, he's like, you go girls, fine. And then he says, the minute we leave the house, because we are so noisy, the minute we leave the house, when he comes in, he says, it feels like it's different. It does not feel the same. It says I just have to count the days. When are they going to be back? When are they going to be back? Because in my house, it's a crazy house. There's no too serious. Like when you live with somebody, you get too serious and like things, you know what? When you get into the toilet, you toothpaste. I don't notice all those things. I don't know. Maybe I fast too much or I pray too much. I don't know. But I just accept people for who they are. And just as long as that person is willing to accept me for me, I accept you for you as well. So I don't really mind with anything as long, and I don't want to date a friend. You know, when you are in a relationship now, it feels like it's no longer a romantic relationship. It feels like that person is your friend. I don't want to date those kind of a relationship, but intimacy relationship, it has to feel like a relationship. So that's why Shireen is saying relationships are hard work. It means you have to work on it. The woman has her needs, the man has his needs. They're your friends, but really intimacy wise, we need to remember the needs that have to be fulfilled in that process. And do you want to add anything? Is 5 past anything, guys? Do you want to add before we leave with words of encouragement?
Yeah, just like I remembered a quote hearing a few times. I'm not sure if it's from Rumi, I don't know, but like it's not that love hurts us, it's the walls around love. They hurt us.
Oh yeah, that is very, very important. The words we speak.
Yeah. Now I just said if love hurts, it's not love, right?
Okay.
If love hurts, it shouldn't hurt. It should be expansive. If love hurts, we contract and we build walls, right? And then we're afraid to love again, unless we learn to open the door and contract, because our soul, our self, our essence, our authentic self only loves. Our authentic self only loves. And if we can't show love, then our authenticity can't be there. That's really pure simple. That is love, our true authenticity.
I love that. And guys, please, if you want to connect with Shireen and you want to connect with Claudia, please do go to the website, Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. You can find Claudia there. You can find Shireen there if you want any coaching, or you can simply contact them direct and message them, and they'll get back to you. And follow us on our social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, be part of the family, and subscribe to join the group. We have Nkosi Talk Show group and Unique Billionaire Mindset. Nkosi Talk Show group, be part of the family. With the Unique Billionaire Mindset is where you put your company, no advertising really, but using psychology to say, put yourself out there, or you can put quotes every day for people to check you out without advertising, without being like transparent advertising, just like motivating people. So you can join these groups and be part of us and like our page as well. We will see you tomorrow, guys. God bless and live with grace. And look out on the website. We have a boot camp that is coming up, and keep checking out so that we can connect. And if you're somebody who is struggling with a new relationship, or you are in a relationship, but that relationship feels like, you know what, I'm dating a friend, or you feel alone, those are the things we deal with at Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. With coaching, we'll be able to help you to feel. You guys follow me on my social media. You know how Isnomsa is like. That's my real thing. Or everything that I speak here is my real. That's my true authenticity character. That is so out there. So I teach you to be like that in a relationship. Just be who God created you to be, not shutting down because of the hurt in the past. God bless.